Hello everyone. My presentation topic is pharmaceutical quality control laboratory inductions. In my presentation, I'm going to cover the following areas: personal protective equipment, chemical safety and GHS labeling, laboratory safety and emergency preparedness, laboratory waste management, incident reporting, training and competency requirements. Starting with the personal protective equipment. Laboratory environments are hazardous and the safety levels largely depends on the actions and awareness of those within the lab. In a laboratory, it is mandatory for every personnel to wear personal protective equipment because wearing PPE is essential in the environment where physical, biological, chemical, electrical, and airborne hazards are present. The PPE includes the lab coat, safety glasses, gloves, and so on. While working in a lab, the lab coat must be buttoned properly to provide the full coverage. And for the eye protection, safety glasses should be used instead of regular glasses to protect against chemical flashes. For gloves, gloves should be selected based on their chemical resistance and change regularly to minimize chemical exposure. For personal attire, personnel should wear long pants and closed-toe shoes. Short sandals are strictly prohibited while working in a laboratory environment. Jewelry must be removed and long hair securely tied back to prevent contamination. According to the GLP guidelines, before exiting the lab, personnel need to remove the personal protective equipment and wash hand properly to prevent the contamination. Now moving towards the chemical handling and the GHS leveling. Many of the chemicals we use in the lab are potentially dangerous, especially under high heat pressure or when they are mixed with other chemicals. There are two main tools that we use to identify chemical hazards. Those are safety data sheet and the globally harmonized systems for labeling the chemicals. Every chemical in the lab is required to have a technical document called a safety data sheet or SDS, usually provided by the manufacturer. Laboratories use safety data sheets to identify potential dangers posed by chemicals. Every personnel who are working in the lab should know the location of the safety data sheets and review them before working with the chemical for the first time. The GHS is an acronym for the Globally Harmonized System of Classification and Labeling the Chemicals. This system provides an international standards format for safety data sheets. It ensures a uniform approach to hazard communication through standardized labels and safety data sheets, enhancing safety protocols and promoting clear understanding of chemical hazards among laboratory personnel. The GHS chemical labeling provides immediate hazard information via the product name, signal words such as danger or caution, hazard statement, precautionary statement, pictograms, first aid instructions, and so on. These are the pictograms by which we can identify the nature of the chemicals. Every personnel working in the lab must have to be familiarized with this pictogram to manage a safe laboratory work environment. Now moving to the laboratory safety and emergency preparedness. Accidents in the laboratory are unexpected yet unavoidable. However, a thorough understanding of the lab safety can significantly decrease in their occurrence. It's essential for new lab workers to familiarize themselves with all safety equipment locations as soon as they start. To ensure safety and emergency preparedness in the lab, specific steps and protocols must be followed. For example, immediate response to exposure. Every laboratory must have a safety shower and an IVA stations installed and regularly tested to ensure they function properly. In the event of exposure to chemicals or flames, it is crucial to seek immediate assistance and use the safety shower to thoroughly rinse any affected skin or clothing. If the exposure involves flames, the entire body must be drenched to mitigate the injury. Uh, the personnel who are working in the laboratory must be use the chemical fume hood because chemical fume hood protect from toxic vapors. All lab workers need to ensure that the hood is functioning correctly before use and also need to avoid storing chemicals inside the hood. The personnel need to do the proper handling of chemical spills. In the case of a chemical spill, personnel must use the appropriate spill kits stocked in the laboratory. These kits contain materials specifically designed to safely neutralize and absorb different types of chemical spill. For the first aid preparedness, first aid kits are placed at specific spot throughout the laboratory, filled with supplies to treat minor injuries and manage serious ones until professionals' help arrives. If needed, medical help should be sought immediately. For the fire safety procedures, it is imperative for all laboratory personnel to know the location of fire exits, alarms, and fire extinguishers within the facility. Regular training session and drills must be conducted to ensure this information are well known to all the personnel. Regular testing for of safety equipment. It's crucial to regularly test all safety equipment to ensure readiness for emergency situations. Now moving to the waste management. Effective waste disposal procedures are crucial in the quality control laboratory to ensure environmental safety and compliance with regulatory standards. Um, Disposal of laboratory waste must adhere to strict rules and regulations. It's essential to follow the specific instructions provided by our Environmental Health and Safety Office tailored to our workspace. There are three kinds of waste generate in a QC lab. For example, the biological waste, chemical waste, and the general waste. So the biological waste disposal, biological waste or bio-waste includes potentially infectious materials to human and animals and plants, genetically modified materials, and human and animal pathological waste, etc. If we categorize, there are three categories: liquid, sharp, and solid. For the liquid, for example, blood and bacterial cultures, we need to treat them with a chemical disinfectants like 10% bleach solution for at least 20 minutes before disposal, and autoclaving is another option. For the sharp waste, syringe bloods that have contacted pathogens or genetically modified materials, we need to place in puncture resistant containers marked for bio waste and dispose of according to the health safety standards. For the solid waste, for like non-liquid and non-sharp items like genetically modified plants or used petri dishes, what we need to do for we need to dispose of in designated bio-waste containers lined with red bags marked with the bio-waste symbol following the health safety guidelines. For the chemical waste management, some laboratory chemicals are non-hazardous and can be disposed of by regular means. However, many chemicals are hazardous and require careful disposal. For the non-hazardous chemical, for example, sodium chloride solution, we can dispose through sink as these are safe for standard sewage systems. And for the hazardous chemical, like flammable, corrosive, toxic, or oxidizing chemical, what we need to do, we need to use the health safety designated collection bins to accumulate hazardous waste. We need to store waste in a designated areas, typically inside the fume hood. And also we need to ensure containers are correctly labeled and placed in secondary contamination to prevent the leaks. And for the general waste disposal, non-hazardous waste which does not pose a chemical or biological risk should still be handled with care. General lab waste protocol include segregating recyclable material, disposing of non-recyclables in designated bins, and ensuring that disposal practices comply with the laboratory's sustainability policies and local waste management regulations. Now, moving to the incident reporting. Mm, uh, uh, Incident reporting is vital for the safety management system in pharmaceutical quality control laboratories. It involves promptly reporting all incident, accidents, or near misses, which is crucial for regulatory compliance and strengthening the lab safety culture. There are some procedures for reporting the incident, like immediate reporting, completing an incident reporting form. For the immediate reporting, all personnel are required to report any incident, accident, or near misses to their supervisors immediately. For and then After notifying the supervisor, the involved personnel must complete an incident report form. This form should detail the event, including the date, time, and description of the incident, as well as any immediate actions taken. The thorough documentation is crucial for a proper follow-up and investigation to understand the root causes and to devise preventive measures. Now, moving to the next step, that is the training and competency requirements. In a pharmaceutical QC lab, comprehensive training is mandatory for all personnel, covering safety protocols for fire, chemicals, and first aid, along with proficiency in using laboratory equipment and adhering to standard operating procedures. Advanced training is needed for specialized roles. Competency assessment must be conducted regularly to ensure that all staff meet the required standards. This structured training ensures that the team is well prepared to uphold the highest level of safety, compliance, and quality in their work. That is all about myself. Thank you.